Welcome to the You Are the Universe podcast. I'm your host, Victoria Haffer, intuitive healer and holistic life and body coach with over 20 years of facilitating massive transformation for people and animals. And I'm so freaking glad you're here. Today's offering is, we're going to talk about the chakras. The chakra. Chakra means, it's a Sanskrit word meaning wheel or vortex. Chakras are key factors in all aspects of healing, energy healing. We're alive because of this universal life force energy, also known as chi, prana, or mana, that flows through us. Life force flows within the physical body through pathways called chakras, meridians, and nadis. Today, we're going to specifically speak about the 7 major chakras. There are actually many more chakras. You have hand chakras and feet chakras. And anyways, the 7 major chakras that pretty much reside within the physical body. That will be today's topic. The chakras of the human body are the connection points at which universal life force flows into and throughout our physical body. Energy can also flow out of our chakras in several ways. For example, you could have blockages that lead to energy loss through one of these portals. So when chakras, such a big topic for me. As a chakra therapist, I actually trained with Anadea Judith. You might know who she is. We consider her really the grandmother of the chakras. And also as a Reiki master teacher for over 25, 30 years. So the chakras have a lot to do with everything, really. Once you start to get to know chakras, you really can't unsee it. I really literally see the entire world through the chakras. And so, the 7 major chakras basically sit within the physical body from root all the way up through the central access channel called the Sushumna up to the crown. So if you imagine your actual physical spinal column that kind of sets up up into the head, and if you can imagine that the chakras, these energy wheel, just imagine like a fan, a spinning fan going through the body. Actually, the root chakra at the base of the spine is more of a spinning fan, kind of like at the bottom. And then the crown is, imagine the fan spinning from the top, but everything else goes pretty much from front to back. And so we're going to go through those, right? The 7 major chakras of the body here. So basically, when a person's energy flows smoothly and uninterrupted through the chakras, the meridians, and the nadis within the physical body, then we tend to be in a state of what we call balance or homeostasis. Wellness is a dynamic state. And so this is the thing you're going to start to hear and listen to and figure out, is that each chakra, even though all of the chakras are connected, so technically, you might hear of somebody saying like a chakra is blocked or it's open. And I like to use the terms excessive or deficient. So you can have a chakra that is wide open and not in balance. And then I'll explain in a few moments as we go through each chakra individually. Or you can have the chakra itself can be closed off. So yes, sometimes we do hear people saying that it's blocked. It's typically not completely blocked, but more so I want you to think about it as being kind of bound up or sludged up, just like when you might be constipated and things aren't quite moving through you. Just imagine a window, a dirty window, and how when you're looking through a dirty window, that lens is going to be a lot different than if you were to squeaky clean that window. You're going to see things on the other side a lot more differently. Just like you might have a filter in your house, an air filter, and as that air filter starts to pick up all that debris flying around in the air, whether you can see it or not, then the filter itself, the chakra, gets clogged up. And then it can't, things aren't flowing through the body, and then it can't, you're not in balance. That's basically it. So this is the cool thing. As we go through, I invite you to think about each chakra and how it might relate to you. You might say, ooh, that's a chakra that I could use some work on. And in future episodes, I will probably expand on each chakra individually. But for today, it's just sort of going to be like a chakra 101 short little course here. So stay tuned. So once again, each chakra represents a different aspect of us physically, mentally, emotionally, as well as spiritually. Each chakra is connected to a specific element. It's connected to a color. It's connected to a crystal or crystals, different various crystals, and as well as a seed syllable or a sound. So it's pretty cool energy medicine when you start to look at the way of the chakras. And truly, if you're into the Eastern medicine and believe that it's not just it's not a woo-woo thing, right? It's basically that Eastern medicine has been what has healed us since the beginning of time. So whether it was traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine or Native American medicine, whatever, from the indigenous tribes, they all looked at the soul and the spirit as it's something that inside of us. And when we're not serving and listening to our soul voices, and when we're not feeding our body that nourishment, you need to nourish your mind, your body, and your soul. It's not just a physical thing. So yes, of course, what we're eating, what we're ingesting, what we're listening to, the radio, TV, talk shows, the people you're hanging around, that's all energy. And so what are you choosing on a daily basis? So let's get started. Let's start to talk a little bit about the chakras. So once again, the word chakra is Sanskrit for wheel or disc, and it signifies one of the 7 basic energy centers in the body, each one, which are the openings for life energy to flow into and out of our auric field. Each of these centers co-creates and correlates to major nerve ganglia branching forth from the spinal column. In addition, the chakras also correlate to the levels of consciousness, archetypical elements, developmental stages of life, colors, sounds, body functions, and more. So once again, going back to that Eastern way of medicine, in the Eastern medicine world, we look at the fact that every physical ailment that shows up for us, the symptom of the root cause of the illness, stems from stagnation in our emotional body. So it starts there. That I shouldn't say willingness. It's really the lack of knowing how to release, how to clear, how to acknowledge, how to deep dive into the Pandora's box of I'm sure, I don't care, even if you had the most perfect childhood, you still experienced minor traumas in your life, right? So when we're not able to deal with things immediately in that moment, let's say, for example, you're a young child and you lose your mother or your father or somebody really close to you. And, the typical way, and especially, when I was a child, was, you want to keep that from the children, don't talk to them about death or loss or grief, or they just didn't even know how to. So it's not about blaming anything, but we've all had experiences in our lifetime, especially during childhood, that can be, majorly or minorly traumatic and can leave imprints in our body, in our emotional body. And so when this stuff starts to build up in that emotional field, which actually sits right out. If your physical body, you can feel you. So go out from your physical body, about 6 inches or so, and imagine that space, 6 inches to maybe a foot, and that's your emotional body. And then the mental body goes out from there, and then the spiritual body goes out from there, and then we encapsulate. We call the whole thing our aura and or our biofield. The scientific term is called the biofield. And we've actually found scientifically research around the fact that we can actually store ancestral trauma within our biofield. Yeah, it's true. There's books on it. So the cool thing is that you can do something about it. You can bring your chakras, quote unquote, back into balance. You can clear them. You can clear that sludge out from your energy centers, from your nadis, from your meridians. And there's lots of different ways that you can do that. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. So starting from the base of your spine, I want you to imagine, again, the energy center from the base, from the bottom. This is the first chakra. This is called your root chakra. The Sanskrit term is called Muladhara. The element is earth. This is about your physical identity and oriented to self-preservation. This is where your safety sits, you feeling like you belong, your connection to everything and everyone, especially to the planet. So let's say, for example, you often feel like you don't belong here. I know for me, I always felt like I was a drop-in and I was literally an alien, and then come to find out I am a starseed. But, I always just never felt like I belonged. Even when I was with friends and in groups and, outside, I was very outgoing. People thought I was very, extroverted. However, I never felt like I belonged, no matter where I was. Now, that has changed since the deep healing and the deep dives that I've done over the last, 20 years. So it's located this is the root chakra. The color is red. Again, so just imagining, located at the base of your spine. This chakra forms our foundation. Again, it represents the element of the earth and therefore related to our survival instincts and to our sense of grounding and connection to our bodies and the physical plane. Ideally, this chakra brings us good health, prosperity, security, and a dynamic presence. So you want to think about everything. It's sort of like if you're going to build a house, you need to have a foundation. Like if you're writing a course or writing a book, you've got to have the foundation first before you can start to build on top of it. So if your root chakra is not in balance, it's certainly going to affect every other aspect of your life. Moving up the body. So bringing it up to right about the navel point, maybe a little bit below. This is your second chakra. And the Sanskrit term is Svadhyasthana. And the element is water. So I want you to think about the difference between earth is just like grounding, drumming, just putting your feet on the earth and just, stomping and all of that for the root chakra. But now as we move up to the second chakra, the water element, this is your emotional identity. And it's oriented to self-gratification. This is about sensuality and sexuality and your creative expression. And so if you've had any trauma in this area, once again, it could be if you were sexually abused as a child or anything to do with even just being in a relationship where you weren't giving consent, that can be a huge block in this area for sure. So second chakra, water element, think of water as creativity, right? And there's no container to water unless, of course, you put it in a glass. But to pour that glass of water out on a table, and guess what? It just keeps going and going and going and going. Yeah. So the second chakra located in the abdomen, as well as you want to look at the flip side of the aspect too, which, is going to be sorted down by your lower back, more by your sacrum, your SI joint, and the sexual organs are related to it as well. And so this is really, again, about your emotions. I don't think there's many people out there that are like, feel like they're experts in dealing with emotions. And so again, this second chakra, I have to be honest, for almost every single one of my clients, and most of them are women, this chakra is, we definitely explore. We go deep diving on this second chakra for sure. And this is also where your money sits as well. So especially like your saving money and your relationship with money sits in this aspects, in this aspect in your body. It connects us to others through feeling, desire, sensation, and movement. Ideally, this chakra brings us fluidity and grace, depth of feeling, sexual fulfillment, and the ability to accept change. So if you want to say how to know how you're imbalanced in that second chakra, think of the opposite of those things. If you're not sexually fulfilled, if you can't ask for what you need during, intimacy with your partner, if you're not willing to change, if you're, I joke about being a control freak. If you're in that space, this is all second chakra stuff. So yeah, just take a moment and just, think about that. And again, I'm not hitting every single component. I mean, there's books like 4 inches thick. I have probably every single chakra book in the world that talk about the chakras all day long. So I'm just giving you a nice foundation for all of these different chakras. So again, the color is orange for the second chakra, the water element. And then as we move up into our solar plexus, this is the third chakra. And if you kind of follow the bottom of your ribs and come up to the base of your sternum, what we call the xiphoid process, and go right below that, just kind of put your fist there. That is your solar plexus. The element for this chakra is fire, and the Sanskrit term is Manipura. Ego identity. It's oriented to self-definition as well as your confidence. So this chakra is often known as the power chakra, but I will say sometimes I disagree, because your second chakra, the water element, the sacral chakra, that second chakra, I truly believe, and they are right next to each other, so they have a relationship, but I do see that is often where our power sits, in that second chakra. So, just feel into that. Located in the solar plexus, it rules our personal power, our will, autonomy, as well as our metabolism. So when healthy, when in balance, this chakra brings us energy, effectiveness, spontaneity, and a non-dominating power. So it's really about that, just where in your life have you given away your power? So this is where you would really activate your sovereign divinity, your sovereignty. Where are you giving away your power? Where are you thinking that other people and entities know more than you do? Example of that would be in the healthcare system, or with authorities, or even just friends or family, where if you tend to be really wishy-washy about things, or you can't make a decision, or you tend to rely on others outside of you to help you make decisions, I'm going to tell you, this chakra needs a little love. All right, moving up. Bring it to the heart chakra, baby. Anahata, the fourth chakra. The color is green. So imagining a big, beautiful ball of green. It can also be pink as well. So either or definitely works. Rose quartz or an emerald green for a crystal to work with if you feel like this is a chakra. Everyone can definitely work on their heart chakra, unless of course you're a dolphin. So this is about, the element is air, social identity, oriented to self-acceptance. So this is your ability. This is our ability to give and receive unconditional love, as well as compassion for ourselves and for others. So this is the fourth chakra, the 7 chakras. It's the fourth chakra. It's literally the doorway to the upper and lower chakras, right? So think of it as crossing over. Your fourth chakra, Anahata, is also the portal to your soul. So the heart chakra is a really powerful chakra. And it is, if you've ever heard of the Heart Math Institute, it's a nonprofit organization that basically has dedicated its entire life to studying the physicality and the energetics of the heart chakra in people and animals. Really cool research to check out around animals and especially horses. So if you're interested in that, I definitely recommend that you take a look here. So this chakra is called the heart chakra, and it's related to love and is the integrator of opposites in the psyche, the mind and the body, the male and the female, the persona and the shadow, the ego and the unity. A healthy fourth chakra allows us to love deeply, but without attachment, right? That inner child healing stuff that comes out when we get too attached to somebody too soon and have way too many expectations of people, that again could be an imbalance in that fourth chakra. And also when we're in balance, you feel a deep sense of self-love and compassion for yourself and others. Yeah, who doesn't want that, right? So again, think about the heart chakra. Maybe that's a space. Everyone can work on heart chakra stuff. Yeah, it's a good one. All right, moving up to that good old throat chakra, chakra number 5, Vishuddha. And the element is sound. This is about our creative identity, and it's oriented to our self-expression. So this is our communication center, our ability to speak our truth in a loving, non-judgmental way without being angry and irritated. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be angry, and sometimes that actually has to happen for so many people who don't know how to set good and healthy boundaries and have been taught as little girls or little boys that it's not appropriate to show our emotions. So sometimes you got to have those big old, explosions to realize, wow, I was holding that stuff in for a really long time. So this chakra is located in the throat, and it's related to communication and creativity also. Here we experience the world symbolically through vibration, such as the vibration of sound representing language. So I just wanted to take a moment and think about how often, and maybe not now, I literally was just recently speaking to a new sister, a new friend who is a very powerful healer. And she said, oh, I don't have a problem with my throat chakra. I have no problem saying what I need to say. And I said, okay, I get that. As an adult, that is correct. But when you were a little girl, and she had shared some things with me, I said, were you able to speak then? And so remember, the stuff that happens in the past stays in our body until we consciously or, just kind of let go of it. You don't have to necessarily remember the exact situation, but feeling into that energy and then just choosing to release that energy that sits in the field, and particularly in the throat chakra. And a great tool to use for this chakra to help to release and clear things is chanting or mantra. I will be doing a future episode on that, so stay tuned for that. So the color of the throat chakra is a bluish color. It tends to look like a turquoisey color. So like a very bright blue could work here in this space, whether if you want to work with a crystal of that color. As we move up to the next chakra, the 6th chakra, which is, we call that ajna, that is a Sanskrit term, and the element is light. Light. This is the archetypal identity oriented to self-reflection. This is also known as our brow chakra, and the color here is indigo. So it's like a purpley blue, or also known as your third eye, right? So it sits right between your brows. It is related to the act of seeing, both physically and intuitively, but more for intuitively. Yes, the eyeballs are involved because any organ that is near, or gland that's near the chakra, is also being governed by that chakra. So into me I see. This is about your intuition. This is about your inner knowing, trusting your inner knowing. When you are over processing, over analyzing, overthinking, doing a lot of judging, that is an imbalanced 6th chakra. So just think about that. Take a moment. Does that resonate with you or not? Maybe you've worked on that and you're good there, but maybe you're not. And so that would be a space that you would want to definitely work on bringing back into balance. So when you work on really all the chakras, but when you work on this sixth chakra, ajna, it really supports in opening up your psychic faculties and our understanding of the archetypical archetypes and levels. When healthy, it allows us to see clearly, trusting in your inner knowing, in effect, letting us see the big picture. And it's without the judgment, so without the attachment to it. And it's just, you just might have a knowing, or you might see. Each person actually has a different way of receiving psychic information, right? All the different clairs. So it could be a knowing, it could be a knowing, a feeling, it could be a seeing, it could be a hearing, and sometimes it could also be a smelling as well. So again, just be open to that. Just take a moment and ponder. Might I be able to do a little work here on my sixth chakra? And then the last of the 7 of the major chakras is known as your crown chakra, the 7th chakra. And this is Sahasrara. This is our thought, universal identity, and oriented to self-knowledge. This is the crown chakra. So this is our direct connection to source, to spirit, to God, Christ consciousness, however you see that, to your higher self, right? Because you are the universe. Remember that. So whether it's Jesus, Buddha, God, Goddess, the Divine Mother, Divine Father, the Mother Earth, however you want to see, but we are all connected in this to this collective consciousness. So when you feel alone, right? Not when you are alone, but when you're feeling alone, when you're experiencing this deep loneliness of just feeling so alone, you can be sure that the crown chakra is definitely closed, or what we would say deficient. It's sort of like the connection is always there and available. Like imagine walking into a room and it being dark in the room, but at any time you can flip a switch on and bam, the lights go on. So it's the same thing. So just know that if you are indeed feeling extreme loneliness or feeling alone and not feeling supported, this is definitely a detached and a disconnected crown chakra. So again, it relates to our consciousness, pure awareness, and the color for the crown chakra can either be violet, and so a great crystal that I love to work with is amethyst, like a deep purple, and or any of the white crystals. The white crystals would be great, a selenite or a apophyllite, a quartz crystal. There's so many different white ones that you can definitely work with. So it's our connection to the greater world beyond, within, to a timeless, spaceless place of all knowing. So when this chakra, when the 7th chakra, the crown chakra, is developed, when it's in balance, this chakra brings us divine knowledge and wisdom, understanding, a spiritual connection, and even bliss. So that was a lot. Let's just take a moment to again review, reflect on, so the 7 major chakras, each chakra represents a different aspect of us, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And it's dynamic. So certain days a chakra might be a little bit more imbalanced than the other. And the thing is, my MO is I teach you how to heal you. So I empower you how to activate your sovereign divinity. And through education as your mentor, if you ever choose to work with me, feel free to work out. But I teach you how, so that you can have awareness around all this. And you could be in a state and come into an awareness and say, wow, that's my throat chakra. And then you would have the ABCs, right, of the things. What are some things that you could actually do that would help to bring this chakra back into balance? So knowledge is power, for sure, as well as taking action with the knowledge to put it into, so that you embody it, right, into you. super, super powerful. So what are some ways that you can bring your chakras into balance? Just overall, the whole line. And, conscious movement, setting your intention. So things like dance, conscious dance, and yoga, and qigong, and being connected to your breath and the movement and your body, and really honoring all those things, right? So dance in particular is really good for your second chakra. So dance, because it's the water element. So just think of like ecstatic dance, various different kinds of conscious dance that could really help you bring that into balance. Reiki, I don't know if you've ever heard of Reiki, but Reiki is a universal ancient healing modality that's been around for, they say hundreds of years, but I believe it's been way longer than that. And it's so widely recognized, especially in the States, that many hospitals and veterinarians will recognize it and actually have wards, Reiki wards. It's often used to support people who have cancer, for chronic pain, reducing stress, as well as deep healing, right, of all the chakras. So that's another great thing that you can do. Chanting and meditation is another great thing. So there's lots of different healing modalities. Acupuncture is a great one. Acupuncture actually targets more the meridians, but again, you're still going to hit the chakras. Everything is connected. So, but again, knowledge is power. So I'm so glad and excited that you've been here today and you made it to the end of the episode. That was probably one of my longest episodes, but there was a lot of really good information in there. Please stay connected, right? Feel free to reach out if you're interested in possibly doing some work with me, and or also leave a comment. If you haven't already, click that follow button and the little bell next to it that gets you to subscribe to notifications. It would mean the world to me. So I love you, and remember to be and see the magic in everyday life. Namaste.